We keep talking about this.
I do. Because I'm over it. Like, seriously, I don't want to talk about it no more.
Yeah, but that's...
You know that I suffer with depression at times, and I have to really fight through it. Like,
a lot of times, I don't need you to help me fix my issue. I just want you to hear what I got to say. Just let me say it. Let me verbalize it. And then, yeah.
What?
Bro, I'm in my zone, bro. Let me get in my zone so I could, you know what I'm saying? How you get in your zone? How you get in your zone? Let me get in my zone. What up, y'all? She say, he say, back for another episode. We got a good one for y'all today. And we just gonna get right to it. I'm here with my sister, Brandy.
Hi, guys.
And yeah, so today we talking about the weakness of strength. That's kind of deep, though.
Very deep.
It's kind of deep. And I feel like that resonates with a lot of people. But because of that, the part that you got to be strong, a lot of people don't know about it. So how do you feel about it?
So for me, failure was not an option. Growing up, I did some wild things that just, I was a little off the chain, which came forth a child.
Okay.
So it became a single parent at a young age, finished high school, but didn't finish college, working little jobs here and there. But I knew what I wanted. I knew that I wanted the house, the car, the money, the good job or whatever. It just took me a lot longer and it was a lot harder to get there. So for me, it's like, you carrying all this weight on your shoulders. And yes, we have a great support system, but I still didn't use you and other brothers or mom and dad all the time. I had to figure it out on my own. I had to make a way on my own.
So how do you consider that? Why is that a weakness? No, I feel like that right there.
Well, that was the strength. And then it became, when it becomes too hard and it's too tough and you don't know how you're going to get out of it, sometimes it kind of breaks you down, where there are times where I don't want to get out of bed, for 2 or 3 days. There are other single moms that I'm, my closest friends who are single moms, they, it's funny because, we talk about it and it's like, dang, you too? You know what I mean? Because we don't realize that we're not just the only ones going through this.
Yeah, and I feel like that's not just single moms, but just in general people.
Yeah.
It don't gotta be kids, it don't gotta be whether it's your job or whatever.
It's just life. When life gets too tough, it kind of breaks you down.
And I feel like I could say, I know as a black man, it's like, nah, bro, you gotta suck that up. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? You don't have time to. I got in touch with you could say the soft side or the more emotional side when I left and started living in other countries. You know what I'm saying? I lived in different countries, but when I went to Italy, I was like, yeah, that's too much. Like dudes, they were, and I was like, yeah, nah, that's a little feminine for me. Can't deal. But between Italy, Brazil, and Serbia, like people show their emotions. You know what I'm saying? Like guys will come and be like, bro, this is what I'm going through.
Right.
Like, give me your opinion. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm strong, but I don't have the answers. And for me, that was different because at first I was like, bro, if you don't get your stuff together, man, get out of my face. You over here crying about, you know what I'm saying, a girl or this and that. Like, you know what you got to do. It's not easy, but you know what but that's how we was brought up.
Right.
It was like, nah, bro, like you said, you can't fail. And if you are failing, you know what you got to do to not fail. Even if it's a hard road to take, you got to take it.
Yeah.
And I feel like we don't talk about like our feelings. And I think that's another, I think I said it in another episode, but therapy, man. Like a lot of people aren't fans of therapy, but I guess you feel like vulnerable. I don't know what the and that's a good thing that you brought up. I don't know why society makes it where men can't be vulnerable. Because, you sure you want to get into this? Because men are supposed to be
I get that you have to be the tough guy. You have to be the provider. You have to be the
You gotta be that rock.
Right. But at the same time, so can we. We can be your rock at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Women. Where, I mean, I don't get it. Like, I want to know if my man is hurting, I want to know he's hurting. And then I want to know how to fix it. Right. So now my mind is working 10 times, faster because of that. But it's not just because I'm a woman. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a fixer. So I know.
So you're a fixer.
I'm a fixer. I know.
I feel like I'm helping you throughout these episodes, but because it's something that you say a lot, and I don't think it's on purpose, and there's no like malintentions or nothing like that. But you're like, I'm this and I'm that, but there's a ton of other people out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're like, I do this, or I'm like, yeah, well, what about the other person? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're a fixer. So like, but there's a lot of women out here that are like, what? You can't what? You need me to do what? Like, you the man.
Yeah. But that's the thing though. It's not, and that's why our men are so afraid to show their feelings. Like, to me, it just bothers me because I feel like I had to break down. So just a quick little summary. Divorce. Best thing I ever did in my life. Mm-hmm. But one of the hardest things I had to go through. You saw it firsthand.
Right.
I had to sell my house. I had to go through emotional and verbal abuse. I had to deal with, like, it was just so much emotional just attack. So for me, it was like, I wanted it to be over because I wanted to stop hurting. I wanted to stop going through the fight, right? Mm-hmm. But the adrenaline was keeping me going. So I didn't cry. I didn't feel bad. I didn't feel like anything when I was going through it. When it was over, the grieving of it. And the therapist told me, she was like, divorce is like death. Agreed. You gotta give yourself some time to grieve it like death. And that's when the tears came. That's when it was like, all right, Brandi, you got to start looking at yourself. You got to make sure that, we're not taking the same crap that we had in the marriage into another relationship if I ever decided to get married again or be in another relationship or whatever the case may be. So at the end of the day, it was just like, you know what I mean? Like, I had to go through all of that. And I was like out of it for months. I think all through COVID. The first part of COVID, yeah, I was out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't come out of the room. I didn't want to eat. I was getting sick a lot because I think I got a cold, and I think I couldn't, I kept catching these colds, couldn't come out because everybody thought it was COVID. But I just went through a lot, and I didn't think that I felt that way. Like, I didn't think that I cared that much about the marriage to have to go through that. But I feel like people, and because of the family that we are, mm-hmm, I don't think that all of y'all got it.
I'll be the first to, I don't want to say apologize because I feel like it was needed at the time, but I feel like I was a lot less sensitive to your situation because I was going through my own divorce.
True.
Nobody knew it. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody knew everything that I was going through. Like, I think I told you afterwards. Mm-hmm. I think that I was like, because you was like, I'm going through this, and nobody understands, and I'm like, everybody's going through something. And I think that's when I set you down, was like, this is everything that happened to me in the last year. Yeah. And I've been going through that this entire time, and I feel like that's why it's the weakness of strength, you can say, because I was strong, but it was tearing me down every time that I was going through something. Like, she was here, then when she left, it was like, yeah, that's a weight off my shoulders. But at the end of the day, even though that needed to happen, like you said, you got to grieve it like death because you with somebody for years,
right,
daily, and now they not there no more.
Yeah.
Like, the first night after she was gone, that I came back home and got into bed, I was like, damn. Even though while she was here, I was pissed. Every night, like, I didn't even like laying next to her. I was like, damn, I kind of miss, you know what I'm saying? Having somebody, yeah, you know what I'm saying, right there. So, but that's you like, I gotta be strong about it. So I didn't talk to anybody about it. I ain't talking to nobody. Like I was going through couples therapy with her, and then I continued to go to the same therapist. I was going to therapy in Portuguese and English. I don't know why I was doing that, but I had a therapist, American therapist, and I had a Brazilian therapist, because the Brazilian therapist knew the situation. She was there from the beginning, like when we started going to therapy.
Right.
So after it was over, I was like, well, shoot, let me go a couple more times and make sure my mind right. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, that was the first time that I was like, yeah, I need to start expressing myself and how I feel, just verbalizing it sometimes. Sometimes when you verbalize stuff, you hear what you actually saying. Sometimes you're like, yeah, that's stupid. And other times it's a weight off your shoulders, just saying it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I think I said it. I just didn't know how to say it. And I felt like, honestly, divorce to me I felt like a failure. Right? I felt like, all right, you messed that up. That right there is totally gone. You know, and where we come from, being preacher's kids, like, our parents been together for blah, 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 blah years. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I wanted to be with somebody for blah, 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 blah years.
And I remember you kept asking why. You kept asking me why. And at that time, I didn't have a lot of sympathy for you at all. But
Thanks.
No, but now you know I was going through something.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And two, I wasn't in touch with that side of myself yet. You know what I'm saying? But I thought for you it was simple. Like, dude was this, he showed his true colors, and that's what it was. You wanted to know why he did it. Like, you kept asking why. And I was just like, if you keep asking why, you're not going to go nowhere. It happened. It's over. Like, now we need to figure out what we need to do next to get you to the next step, to get you out this hole you was in. Like, that's how I process things. Like, the why is, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
You're not going to go back. So to me, it was irrelevant, and you was worried about it. It was bothering you. So it was slightly pissing me off, because I'm like, you're worried about something that doesn't matter.
But I think the why for me was because I would have stayed. It sounds crazy, but I would have stayed as long as I possibly could, because he asked for it, being out of spite. He asked for the divorce to hurt me. And then at a point I got fed up, because that wasn't the first time that he asked for it. So it was just like, okay, fine, let's go with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm done. I don't want to hear divorce no more. If that's what you really want, let's roll. You know what I'm saying? I was good on that. But then it was just like, why me? Like, why did you choose me? Why did you choose, of all the stuff that we've gone through, all the stuff that I've done, all the stuff that could have happened, why me?
And
so that bothered me. Like, now I don't need the why. I could care less about the why. I got some of the why over time.
Right.
But at that point in time, yeah, it really did bother me. Like, it really made me feel like, you know, what did I do? That I could never reach the level of him truly loving me beyond all of the mess. Right. And no one ever cheated. Nobody ever did, that we know of. Like, nobody ever did anything like that. But it was just like, I was being loved on his terms. It was just so weird to me. One day I was cool, next day, you know, you hate me.
Right. And that's what I was saying, like, it's not explainable. You can't explain it.
Yeah.
Because that person is that person. Like, the why is because that person is that person.
Yeah, and I think that was the time that broke me. That was my worst. At my, like, literally my rock bottom. And don't get me wrong, like, I was still in the process of, you know, building a house and getting my stuff together, and you know, I still had a great job and making good money, but it was just like, okay, now what? Because I had done this for so long with a person, a partner. Even though we didn't like each other, it was still a partnership.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was like, now what do I do? I'm about to go into another mortgage by myself, not with anybody else, because we had to sell the marital home. So I think, like, in that moment, that was my lowest point. And then, you know, there are times now that I have my moments where I can't get out of bed. where it's like I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to talk to anybody. Because it's moments that's just like, all right, I just need a minute. And you got to give me a second. It's not that I don't want to be involved. It's just, I think and sometimes I'm sleeping. Like, honestly, I will sleep all day.
But is that healthy?
But I think it's a sign of, I do know that I can go into depression. I do know that. I do know that I suffer with depression at times. And I have to really fight through it. Like, I have to hear Dad say, get up, get dressed, and move.
So now I got a question. And this probably might rub some people the wrong way. And I mean this with all the respect in the world. But you said you suffer with depression, right? But you need to hear Dad say, get up, get dressed.
Yeah, I hear it.
You hear it.
Yeah.
But that's when you move.
Right.
So I always felt like, all right, yeah, you depressed or you sad, you going through something or whatever. But I feel like that's mental. Like, yeah, it's hard right now, but you can mentally change that situation.
It is, but you got to know how. Like, so.
I agree. You got to know how. But I just would like to know, and I'm not a professional at all, and I'm not.
Neither am I.
I'm not speaking down upon nobody, but like when they give people medicine, antidepressants.
Now, I've had that.
I'm confused about what that is because I'm like, if things was going well, there's something that's going wrong that has you depressed. So
but sometimes they say that it's chemically unbalanced, right? That there's something, and I don't particularly know because I know I was prescribed that when I went through therapy with the divorce. They gave it to me. I didn't like it.
So you're not well versed on this then?
No.
See, I thought you knew. So I don't even. We can't even speak about that because
no.
Neither one of us know enough about it. But I definitely, you know what I'm saying, I was curious because to me it's a state of mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm sad. I'm going through something.
I mean,
and yeah, and I don't feel good about it. And it's been a while, so now I'm like depressed. And but yeah. So with that being said, you can't fall into like that's what I'm saying. You got to get over it. And a lot of people deal with loss and all that differently. And I feel like that's the weakness of the strength because you can deal with so much, but eventually everybody has a breaking point.
Yeah. And I think, and sometimes it doesn't even take much. Like sometimes it's not even an actual issue, but it's like, all right, you've been in this bed for 2 straight days. You got to get up and you got to move. You got to do something. I think high school, that's when I really started to feel and see and know that I was dealing with depression. Just because certain things just didn't, it was high school wasn't rough for me, not friends wise,
but that was in your rebel days, like that was when you.
Yeah, it was the rebel days. Sometimes I felt excluded from, my family, certain groups in our family.
You was tripping.
I mean, I get that, but it still takes a toll, whether you right or wrong. Yeah. It still takes a toll.
I agree.
And so the toughness of that, me not, showing up to a certain event, so I'm only showing up for 3 minutes and then I'm out just to show my face, or me not coming at all.
Yeah, but I feel like that's like a defense mechanism. Like
or me battling up against like, it's like instead of a hey, how you doing? It's a hi. I don't want no conversation, right? Because I don't want to have that, right? I don't need that in my life right now. So then you get into this place where it's like, okay, now you by yourself. Now you thinking about a lot of stuff. So, you know what I mean? You're not getting out the bed. You're not doing none of that stuff. I really start feeling it now. I see myself now. Like I can tell when it's starting to happen. Yeah. And it's like, all right, we're not going to do that. Like, we're not going to do that today.
I have to, I guess you could say that. I distract myself. So, like, I go somewhere. Or I go, like, I might go out and party for 2 days. You know what I'm saying?
See, them days are over.
That don't. No, I'm not saying I go out and, like, get wasted
I'm just saying,
or whatever.
But I still, like, I'm not doing the clubs. I'm not doing none of that stuff. Like, you know, and shout out to this girlfriend who, you know, I was going through something one day and she could hear me crying on the phone. And and we live like not too far from each other. And it took her, she was like, I'm on my way. Period, point blank. Now, I don't see her on a regular basis and we're not far. But she got her life, I got my life. And it was like, I normally don't call anybody, but this particular time I needed to call. And she was just like, all right, I'm there. We're going to get a drink and we're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, so I respect that because I'm not the type that's like, I need you. Somebody come help me. Right. I'm not doing that.
And I feel like that's why the therapist thing is a good deal, because a lot of people don't want to do that, because me personally, I'm real careful about who I talk to about stuff, because I really don't want to hear what you got to say about it.
True.
And then some people are like, oh, you told me, so now I'm responsible for it. And they just keep prying and prying and prying, and they don't just let it go. Sometimes people just want to be heard and left alone, where some people can't distinguish whether that person just wants to be heard or not. Or if they like, oh yeah, I need you to help me fix my issue. Yeah. A lot of times I don't need you to help me fix my issue. I just want you to hear what I got to say. Just let me say it. Let me verbalize it. And then, yeah.
So let me ask you something on that note. And this might be a little off topic, but I am one that I can hear your problems, right?
You think you can hear my problems?
No, I can hear your problems. I can hear it all day long. But the problem I have with that is when you have the same problem over and over and over again.
Oh.
And it's like, I thought we already talked about this. I thought we already, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. If you're with the same girl and it's the same thing. She keeps cheating on you. And I tell you, look, I don't really think that's a good idea. Like, let it go. She has a pattern. Doesn't seem like she wants to change. Let it go. Am I wrong? Because I don't want to keep talking about it.
You wrong if you don't say something.
No, am I wrong that I don't want to keep talking? Once I tell you what it is, like, this is my opinion, this is where I'm coming from, this is what I see happening, and you continuously do it for years and years, and now I'm tired of talking about it. Like, we keep talking about the same thing over and over and over again.
You are wrong in the fact that you didn't say, yo, we keep talking about this.
I do. Because I'm over it. Like, seriously, I don't want to talk about it no more.
Yeah, but that's something that you gotta let that go. Because now you dealing with my well-being. Now you dealing with my state of mind. Because you, like me, I used to be a very negative, angry person. And now I found my cure was to just not, like, don't bring negativity into my life. So when you can bring negativity to me, and I'll give you all the positive ways that I know to fix it, and let's fix it. But if you keep bringing negativity to me, eventually I'm a step off, because I can't, health-wise, I can't be around all that negativity all the time.
I agree, and I've lost friends like that. Like, friends that I've known for years, best friends, girls that I hung out with every day, talk to every single day. It's like the negativity that comes my way, or not so much of what they do, but the negativity, like, oh, you're not doing it right. Oh, he not going to treat you right. Or whatever. Like, I can't do that.
I can't even, like, the gossip. Like, I can only deal with so much. I don't even watch the news no more. It's very rare that I watch the news. I'll listen to it here and there, but when it's just negativity, or when somebody's like, oh, you heard such and such, like, bruh, I haven't heard anything. I don't want to know anything, because I feel like that negative energy is...
It's toxic.
Yeah, and I haven't studied it or nothing like that, but in my life, since I have been trying to put positivity, surround myself with positivity, positive things have been happening.
Yeah, and like I tell people all the time, like, now that I know what peace is, now that I know what it's like to walk in your house and know that everything is where it's supposed to be, nothing is out the way, nobody's going to be in there ready to bark at you or whatever, like, that peace is untouchable. Like, I am protecting that at all costs. And if that means that I don't talk to family, if that means I don't talk to people I've known for years, if that means I have to move jobs, I'm going to do whatever it does to protect that peace.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people, that chaos or whatever has become normal.
Yeah.
And they think that's what's normal in life, and I don't agree with that at all. Like I've changed a lot about, like, I'm not 100% where I want to be in life because I protect that peace, if
Yeah.
you would. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, yeah, I could go get a 9-to-5 job. You know what I'm saying? I could go do that, but I know I'm not going to be happy there. I know I'm going to become a robot, and I'm going to probably be less of a positive person. And I don't want to be that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've taken a different route, or a longer route, to try to get to where I'm trying to get to. But when I get there, I know that I'm going to be happy. You know what I'm saying? And that part, like, I would never speak about that before. And that was the weakness of the strength, or weakness of being strong, because I feel like I couldn't express that to nobody. Wasn't nobody gonna hit me. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not the norm.
Right.
Like, where we come from, you go to school, you get out of school, you get a job, whether you like it or not, you get a job, you move out, you pay your bills. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what it is. And I realized that our what do you call that? Our system, our routine, the process is wrong. Yeah. And I just feel like what happened, people, you go to school, and then you get out of school, and then you go right and you get a job, you move out, you get all these bills.
Well, you know that's why it's like that, right?
What?
Because when you go to school, you collect debt.
And I understand
you have to pay the debt. So that's how America is, which is so.
But even if you, I ain't even talking about debt. I'm talking about, like, even if you go to school on a scholarship and you get out, and now you might not get your dream job. Some people nowadays, they're finding ways to get the jobs that pay enough money, but a lot of people start at the bottom.
Right.
But they rush out and they go get all these bills, because that's what I'm supposed to have. I'm supposed to have a car, supposed to have a house, supposed to have all this stuff. And now what I see is, now you get 2 jobs. You got to pay all your bills. Now you don't have no time to enjoy yourself. Now you living just waiting for vacation. And then halfway through vacation, you like, oh, shit.
Or you got to wait half your life for retirement. And by that time, you only get what? Maybe at the average, 5-10 years. After that, I mean, the expected life expectancy is supposed to be between 70 and 80. You ain't guaranteed to see 100. I got to think that the system is just jacked up. But I will say that is also.
Wait, let me finish the system here. I was dropping gems. I was dropping gems here. So you go out, you get a job, and then you can't pay all your bills, so you get a second job. Now you can pay your bill, but you don't have no time to enjoy your life. Mm-hmm. Then you like, all right, you do this for I don't know how long. So then you like, all right, I'm gonna make a huge change, and then you go actually do something that you really want to do, but now you gotta start over. You probably like 40, 45. Now you gotta start over. You know what I'm saying? So you're not really living. And then you got to do that, and then say you get something, you can get a pension or whatever after 20 years. You're 40, now you're 60. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, well, I want to just slow down and do what we really want to do. Like, you might not get to the top right now, but I want to get to the top and be happy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I want to be doing something that I really want to do. I want to do something that brings positivity to people. You know what I'm saying?
But shout out to our parents, though, because honestly, like, they're the ones. Like, they were like.
They saw the vision first.
Yeah, but it's like, I'm not putting my kids out at 18. I think that's where we go wrong, too. It's like, I have to get out. My parents are like, 18 years old, you have to get it. No, I refuse to do that.
Yeah.
But I think, because it's a struggle, but I think that at the end of the day, you know, it's just, I think for me, like, I have been dealing with depression for a while, but I'm grateful because I have the tools to move through it. So it may be 3 days. Like, it may be 3 days that I'm in my room. Like, the kids will tell you. It's like, you know.
3 days?
It'll be 3 days. I'll come downstairs, I'll eat, I'll go upstairs, whatever. And they're eating, like, pizza or whatever I can get DoorDash or Grubhub to the house. Because I don't want to go out. I don't want to run into nobody. I don't want to talk to nobody. My attitude is foul. And that's not who I want to be. So it's like, and because I don't want to become that person again, I have to, like, lock it in, deal with it, and then be able to move forward. Because I know that I will go out here, and I've been, like, rude to people who, for what? I mean, even the kids are like, dang, Mom. You know what I mean? So, for me, I have to, like, deal with it. And if that means staying in the house, doing what I got to do, fortunately for me, I'm a hybrid, so I work from home most days. But it's just, I think being so tough, and then I think even with the divorce, like I think everybody looked at it was like, well, Brandy, you've been through worse. No, you thought I've been through worse. This was my worst.
Yeah, nobody knows how
Right.
each individual thing affects each individual person.
So it's always like, but she tough though. Like she bounced back from this, and she did this, and she did that. Come on, what we doing? Why we sitting around crying about it? Like, what you mean? Hold on a minute, because I'm dealing with something that I thought I was, tough enough to go through. And when I tell you the adrenaline was pumping for a year and a half, the adrenaline was pumping, because as soon as that adrenaline was over, I mean, it hit like a ton of bricks.
Yeah.
So at the end, and it was to the point that I was afraid of being ever married again. I was afraid to even say the words like, your wedding? I ain't want no parts of it.
I barely did. No, nah, that's a whole nother story. Y'all.
But still, it was like I was so anti,
You was very anti.
Very.
You should probably apologize for that. You can apologize.
Although I did help.
But you was anti, and you could tell that, and I could feel it.
I just divorced a month ago.
That's fine.
Prior to.
I'm just saying. You was very.
I supported you though. I supported you.
You was present.
No, that's not true. I supported.
No, the day of. I think you was with her, right?
The day of I was with her. I went to David Brown. No, I didn't. I showed y'all the thing. I couldn't do that.
He was like, "There, go right there." I did all that.
Yeah.
You made me go and do all that
because I couldn't do it.
I mean,
there was no way I could do that.
That's fine.
But I hooked her with the hair, the makeup, all of that. Sherry hooked her up.
Yeah,
Thanks, Sherry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I needed space, but I still could be there. But I needed y'all to understand that I couldn't be there the way you wanted me to be there, because I could not deal with it.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, wow, that is, and I think we can close on this, is that the weakness of the strength, or the weakness, I don't know what we said, but it's like, yo, you strong, I get it, but everybody don't know what you're going through. So for me, it was like, I don't know why she don't. I understand that everybody wasn't on board with me getting married. You know what I'm saying? I understood that, but I'm like, she got to act like that though. But I was feeling that way because you was so strong that you couldn't tell me what you was going through. Like, we figured out everything that you was going through, like, because we was all like, I think we all was living together at one point.
Yeah, during COVID, we all lived together because we had to sell the marital home.
But it was like, nobody knew. Well, yeah, we knew you was sad, but we didn't know how that was affecting you. So we didn't know how to approach it. You know what I'm saying? There was no way to get through because you were so strong that you wasn't expressing yourself to anybody else. So we was like, okay, it must be this.
And y'all got to understand it's an expectation, though, because I am the oldest. So there are a lot of things that I don't want to tell y'all. Like,
the expectation is to be healthy.
I get that. But in that moment.
Yeah, no. Now looking back on it.
Yeah, like, I don't want to go and be like, oh, to my little brothers and be like, yeah, this is what I'm feeling.
Let's be honest. We're younger brothers, but
little brothers.
We're the older brothers.
You will always be the little brothers.
But
little big bro.
What I think what we're saying is you can be as strong as you want to be. Everybody has a time where you need somebody to listen to you.
Right.
You need somebody to hear you out. And also the people around you that want to help you, if you a strong person and you just don't let them in, they don't know how to help you. They don't know how to even interact with you because they don't know actually what's going on. So, I mean, you can be as strong as you want to be, but everybody has their breaking point, everybody has that limit, everybody has to have somebody to talk to.
Yeah. But I want to end on this though.
What's that? Give it to us.
Quick little story. So I was in the process of switching jobs. I was terrified because my job was going through cuts. I knew, at some point it was just going to get really bad. So they were like, you have a choice. You can either stay with us, take the cut, or, we're going to let you go at some point. Basically what they were doing. They were cutting us all in half. And shout out to my dad or our dad. Yeah. I don't know why we do that as siblings. But anyway, my dad, he was listening to me going through all of this stuff. There's not a day to go by that I don't call, dad. So he was listening to me for days. And one day he went, favorite cookie in the world is a snickerdoodle from Iverson Mall. If you don't know about it, get on it. He went to Iverson Mall and came back with a bucket of cookies for me and just dropped them off. It wasn't like I want to talk about anything. What it was, he was just like, I know you're going through some stuff. I just brought these over to cheer you up. And he left. Mm. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was just like, I appreciate that. Like, to this day, that's so special to me. Because not everybody would think that way. Mm. And it was like, I can't fix your job situation. I'm not on a job. I can't. If I could, you know, and if he could make some moves and make some calls, I knew he would. But he was like, the best I could do is give you your favorite cookie. So I got you. Yep. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I appreciate that. But I also had to learn to open up to him and tell him what was going on. Because that bothered me. I mean, I'm here with a new house, a new car note. You know what I'm saying? The kids. I can't be out of work.
Yeah. And something, like I said, sometimes people can realize, and I think he does a good job of that. Some people don't realize that this person just needs a bucket of cookies. They don't need you to come in and, you know what I'm saying, jump in their life and tell them what they need to do and what they don't need to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if somebody expressed themselves to you, then, all right, you want to talk about it or you don't want to talk about it? You know what I'm saying? Like, when the barber switched shops,
yeah.
So I went down there. He was cutting my hair. I didn't ask him anything. I was like, yo, what's going on? And he was like, yo, Drew, man, I appreciate that. You the first person that came in and didn't ask me. I'm like, bro, that ain't none of my business.
Yeah, because I sure did ask.
So she one of them people you might want to be careful. You want to talk to her now because she going to ask questions.
I want to know.
Yeah, but he was like, I was like, bro, that's none of my business. If you want to tell me, I'm here to talk about it if you want to. But if you don't want to tell me, you ain't got to tell me. But yeah, man, I think as a people, as a community, we gotta open up a little more and be more
more supportive.
Yeah, be more supportive, be more vulnerable, but you gotta be more supportive so people feel better about being more vulnerable.
True.
So it's a tribe. That's what it is. So we gotta be a better tribe, people. Be a better tribe. Yeah, that's it. That's all we got. Hope y'all liked it.
Good show. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. As always, man, make sure y'all subscribe, like, send it to your friends, man. That helps us out. And, we'll see y'all next time. Holla.